I love anytime I get to sort of go out of my way to highlight something that a member of a particular phones community did. And this morning I get to do exactly that. And we're actually talking about Surface Duo 2, a device that is still near and dear to my heart as well as the hearts of many other people. And a device that, while yes, mine does have a leather or a faux leather skin, as well as the included bumpers on it, I think that it is widely regarded to be at least a pretty nice looking device. Now, maybe in terms of like normal phones, people might look at this thing and think that it looks really, really weird. Some people don't like the camera bump on the back, but I still think that all in all, this is a very like classy looking device. But these are not the most durable of devices on the planet. In fact, if we look at my original Surface Duo, maybe this will be visible on this camera. I'll probably do like a B-roll close-up here, but mine is cracked, and it actually cracked from a pretty darn short fall that just happened to land in such a way where it literally landed on like a vent in my house, and it kind of went into the slot in the vent, and it put pressure. It impacted just that very edge of the glass, and a crack went up the side. And I had said from basically the very beginning, when I started seeing how fragile the device was, hey, wouldn't it have been really cool if Microsoft had done what they did with all their other Surface devices and made this thing out of magnesium? Now, of course, if you make the device out of magnesium, you do run into some problems. Most notably would be with your cellular reception. You're basically making the device into its own personal Faraday cage, so you're not going to be able to get good signal. If you want to know why so many phones are glass slabs, it's because glass doesn't really get in the way of a cellular signal. It's able to get in and get out. Everything's just easier that way, but it does make it a little bit less durable than if you went with a full metal body. You have to find workarounds if you use metal. Also, it would have been really, really heavy, but that did not stop this Reddit user from experimenting with this. Paint A06, Painta06, perhaps would be the name. This is their titanium Surface Duo 2, and I'll be darned if that is not one of the slickest looking things I've ever seen. It looks absolutely fantastic. Can I open this up in a new tab? Can we zoom in further? Not much further. Regardless, it looks fantastic. And what they say here is they replaced the glass with titanium because they could not buy the glass. I guess they needed to replace the glass and they had no option to do that. So they just did the engineering thing, I guess. I guess they had the exact measurements and the tools to do it, so they made it out of titanium. Now, they also mention here, they previously made an aluminum version that didn't last too long. I don't know what they mean by didn't last too long. Did it wear in some way? What went wrong there? I'm not exactly sure, but they eventually went back to titanium, which again, I think looks really, really good. They say they have photos, videos, CAD files, etc. Be really cool if they actually posted sort of how they went through this process. That'd be really interesting to see, because personally, I don't know how people do this kind of stuff. Like, this is beyond me, so really impressive. I like this comment: with that in a shirt pocket, you'd survive getting shot. Potentially. Now, someone actually does mention here that it could be hurting the signal. They say, I did think this initially, but everything works as it should, except NFC, and I feel Wi-Fi range dropped slightly. So it is blocking NFC from getting through. Wi-Fi range has dropped slightly. Someone did ask about cellular, but they didn't respond to that. I don't know if they're using this as their primary phone, like with their SIM in it or not, so maybe they haven't even tested that, but I think that would definitely be a pretty big concern. Another big concern is that the heat is a lot more noticeable, especially from the back, because that's the area that normally gets hot is right there, and you've got metal there to act as basically a heat sink holding on to that heat. I would imagine that's going to be potentially another problem. I'd love to see like a measurement of how warm it's actually getting, but yeah, not surprising there either. I also do wonder how much this thing actually weighs. You would think going from glass to titanium, you'd be adding a little bit of weight to it. And if I go to GSM Arena real quick here for Surface Duo 2, I think this thing was pretty doggone heavy already. I think it's up here at the top, 284 grams. I mean, it's it's a heavy phone. I think that, a lot of people complained about how heavy the Pixel Fold was, and it was never really a big problem for me. And I think it's because I daily drove this thing for like over a year with very few breaks. So I think I was just used to this. So going to the Pixel Fold really wasn't too big of a deal to me. For comparison, 283 grams. They're almost identical in weight. At any rate, guys, just something I came across that I thought was really cool. I'm going to drop a link to this thread into the description down below so that if you want to click on this and go leave a comment, give it an upvote like I'm going to do right now, you can feel free to do so. Reward some really interesting work. I don't think that this is something that would be like ready for mass production for some of the reasons that we mentioned. But in terms of just being just a cool thing that somebody did, I thought that it was worth highlighting, and I thought you guys would actually get a kick out of it. So thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below about this. What do you think of it? Is this something you would actually like to have seen Microsoft explore? There's things they could have done to have mitigated the heat, to have mitigated maybe the reduction of cell signal with some little antenna bands and things like that. They could have found workarounds. Would you have liked to have seen that? Of course, I would also love to know from them, did they do anything? And I don't think that they did. Let's go back to this. I'm like trying to end this video and I'm going back for more. This part here around the edge seems to also be very, very fragile. And I'd love to know, did they actually replace that too? Like it almost looks like maybe they did. I can't zoom in far enough, but does that look like the original material to you? It really doesn't to me. So that's pretty interesting. I'd love to know if that's the case or not. Maybe you can ask in the Reddit thread or speculate down there below. Guys, I got to end this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.